When I realized that my childhood best friend was destined to fall for the poor transfer student and eventually kill me, to survive, I faked my own death. Before jumping into the ocean, I left him a single text message. I saw her touch your hand today. It's so dirty. I'm never seeing you again. He was absolutely devastated. He threw himself into the sea multiple times just trying to find my remains. Meanwhile, I was already on a private jet flying out of the country. 5 years later, I figured he and the transfer student had probably gotten there happily ever after, and it was time for me to return home and inherit my family's billions. I never expected that on the very night I returned, he would lock me up in a cliffside mansion. The man who was always so proud, aloof, and untouchable slowly peeled off his gloves. He dropped to his knees in front of me, almost pathologically obsessed, intertwining his fingers with mine and kissing my hands relentlessly. Chloe, I'm not dirty. From now on, no one but you will ever touch me. Asher Vance and I grew up together. Since I was a little girl, I firmly believed that we would get married when we grew up, and live happily ever after like a princess in a fairy tale. Unfortunately, fairy tales are just fairy tales, and I wasn't the princess. During our junior year of high school, a transfer student joined our class. She had jet black hair, snow white skin, and a gentle, radiant smile. She even talked to stray animals. Without a doubt, she was the real princess. I leaned against the windowsill, looking down at Mia Harper chatting with a bird in the courtyard. Asher stopped behind me, his tone slightly icy. It's PE class. Why aren't you downstairs yet? He had loved bossing me around since we were kids, from what I ate and wore, to my grades and my friends. Because of this, my parents absolutely adored him. After all, what parent wouldn't love a straight-A student who helped keep their own rebellious kid in line? I was used to his strictness, but sometimes I still pushed back, like a rebellious teenager defying a parent. I pointed at Mia down below and asked, look at her. Don't you think she's interesting? Asher followed my gaze and calmly delivered his verdict. Lunatic. But I think she's fascinating. I turned around, testing the waters. What if I became friends with her? Idiot. He dropped those 2 words coldly and walked away. I knew that meant my proposal was rejected. However, I never could have imagined that just 1 month later, he would be gripping my wrist, forcing me to apologize to Mia. His grip was so tight it left red marks. It hurt. No matter how hard I struggled, I couldn't shake him off. Mia was half kneeling on the ground, her clothes dirty and her knees scraped. What happened to you? I asked. You pushed me down the stairs, and now you're asking me what happened? I glanced at the staircase behind me. I did walk past here just now, but I didn't push anyone. There are no security cameras here, so of course you can say whatever you want. You were the only one who walked by. If it wasn't you, did I just throw myself down the stairs? Why would I even push you? Who knows? Maybe you hate seeing me getting close to Asher. I frowned. I turned to look at Asher. Getting close to him? Didn't he say we only needed each other as best friends? Why did he forbid me from befriending her? Yet he was getting close to her himself. Why was he forcing me to apologize when I hadn't done anything wrong? But those unasked questions were destined to remain unanswered. He just held me down, forcing me to say sorry. At that exact moment, a massive flood of information rushed into my brain. It was the plot. It told me that Asher and Mia were the male and female leads of a romance novel. Mia had fallen for Asher because he unintentionally scared off some thugs who were bothering her. Asher would slowly fall for her kindness and purity. And I was just the vicious, jealous villainess standing in the way of their love. I would eventually be despised and hated by Asher for bullying Mia. And finally, once the 2 leads got their happy ending, Asher would kill me. My first reaction was, naturally, utter disbelief. But a second later, the hand forcing my head down served as a harsh reality check. It hurt. My wrist hurt, and my neck hurt. In the past, if I got a mosquito bite, he would be the first to fuss over it. Now, he was viciously forcing me to my knees to apologize to someone else.